Season 8 of Superior Angling TV is brought to you by Eskimo Ice Fishing Gear. I think a favorite part about what we do is being able to craft our own adventure every trip we take. We live in such a place where you can take an easy, comfortable day trip out onto the ice, or you can put yourself in a situation where you can be so remote, no one is going to come rescue you should things go bad. You can truly tailor the experience however you want. And you can bet we will choose the far-off, isolated destinations most every time. Ice camping in secluded areas can and will test your knowledge, your gear, and your perseverance. It will test your knowledge of bushcraft when temps dip below zero. But these are all good things. It builds character and puts you in temporary survival mode of which you will no longer take a hot shower, warm bed, or electric heat for granted once you return home. On this trip, we set out on our first ice camping adventure of the season, despite an incoming snowstorm that quickly turns the conditions from favorable to less than ideal. We are heading out on our next adventure, and there's no better place to grab all our fishing essentials other than Marine General. Let's go in there, grab some baits, grab some tackle, minnows, ice gear, whatever you guys need. Marine General has it. Let's go stock up. All right, good morning and welcome to this episode of Superior Angling. I'm pretty excited about this adventure that we're on here today. Kind of a backwoods lake, a little bit more difficult to get into, but we're gonna be chasing crappies and maybe a few walleyes mixed in, and we're gonna be ice camping, which is the fun part about this. So in terms of packing, we didn't have to pack extremely light because we had the four-wheeler here, but here's the kicker. We have a pretty big weather system gonna move in on us. It's gonna happen at like 2 p.m. till 2 a.m. We're supposed to get like 6 to 10 inches of snow, which could make things interesting. Getting off the lakes tomorrow when we go home, and also for fishing and for camping. So our first priority is to get camp set up before this weather system comes in here. They're saying 20, 25 mile an hour winds and 6 to 8 inches of snow. So it could get a little hairy, but we're always up for an adventure. We're up for a challenge. So yeah, that's kind of our first order of operations, is to get camp set up and kind of brace for the system that's gonna push in here. So we are going to be ice camping in our Eskimo 850 XD. We're gonna have a wood stove, and we'll kind of show you guys how we set up everything. Ice camping it's pretty fun. It adds that extra aspect of adventure to your trip. And plus, some locations like this, if you want to fish it for 2 days, you're going to be driving 2 hours to a hotel each way, and that hotel, 50-50 chance there'll be bed bugs. So with this, it's just a lot more comfortable, enjoyable. We get to spend the night on the ice, which is pretty cool. It's extremely special and something that I love to do. So we're gonna do a ton of that this season. This is our first first trip of the year ice camping. So let's get camp set up here, and before the storm comes in. All right, so this is kind of our floor in the house. It comes in handy, right? Especially to when you have snow on the ice and glare ice. If you'd have heat going in there, it would just be a wet, sloppy mess. Yes, this is going to get wet, but it's better than just being on that glare ice, because that gets extremely slippery. And it's really nice to have a floor when you can bring it. Again, if you're concerned about weight, if you have limited space, I wouldn't bring this, but we didn't have to be too concerned about space today. So now we're gonna take our Eskimo 850 and set it up onto here. Now I strategically laid this out. This weather system's gonna be coming in here. It's gonna be a big east wind, right? So it's gonna be blowing this way. So we kind of want our tent going, kind of parallel with the wind, and we're gonna have our smokestack going out that way. If you have your smokestack here, throughout the night you risk that wind kind of blowing all the smoke back down your chimney and out into your tent. So we're just gonna kind of have everything flow that way, and it should work out good. These Eskimo ice houses are pretty bomb proof, you know, for wind and snow, but we're still going to take the time to put quite a few ice anchors down, and then on our kind of wind facing hubs we're going to strap these down so we get no surprises. The last thing you want to happen in the middle of the night is to have issues. So again, this is our #1 priority, is getting this house secured. You know, once we get our base established, our next operation is to cut some firewood for the wood stove before this system gets here, because it's going to get wet. It could start off as rain. It's pretty warm out right now. If it does start off as rain, it's going to make the woods very wet, and it's going to make it extremely hard to get some heat and get a fire going. So, all right, now we're getting our wood stove set up here. Now, temps are pretty mild out there right now, about 25 degrees. When the system comes in, it's going to be pushing 30. Overnight, it's going to get down to maybe 25 at the lowest, which is pretty dang warm. You probably won't need a wood stove. I just like it from that kind of ambiance perspective. When I'm at home every night, I have a fire. I just love being next to a wood stove, and we're going to cook on this. So that's kind of why I prefer to use a wood stove. Now at night, so it's kind of a hybrid. It's not like hot tent camping like all throughout the night, right? Before you fall asleep, you stoke the fire, you let it go out. So from, you know, let's say you stoke it at 9 o'clock, by 10:30, it's going to be pretty cold in here. So from 10:30 a.m. till 6 a.m., there's no heat going on. So essentially you're cold tent camping at night. And that's kind of when we rely on our good heavy sleeping bags. But, you know, just for cooking perspective, and when you're just hanging out in here, just the ambiance and the heat of a wood stove is so much better in my mind than a propane. Wood is the most simple, it's the most primitive, it's pretty cool. There's just something being next to a wood stove in your Eskimo house on a lake at nighttime. It's pretty special. That's enough work for now. Let's put some holes and get some lines in the water. The anticipation is killing me because there's some good fish here. All right, our holes are drilled. Now it's time to get some rods out. And I just noticed that east wind starting to kick up, so that system's coming. So hopefully we can get a few fish topside before it gets here. But what we're going to be doing, we're going to set 1 or 2 iFish Pros for walleyes, and then we're going to jig for crappies with kind of a little tungsten jig and a plastic here. So whether it's white or red, a lot of lakes in this area that we're in are pretty stained water. So, you know, something that tries to stand out a little bit. So, and we have that paired on kind of an inline reel here. And then our graph. So it's kind of, there's a little bit of strategy behind this. We don't have a generator with us. We don't have a way to charge batteries. This is the Markham M5. It's a mechanical flasher. Some may consider it old school. I consider it extremely relevant for what we're doing here today. Markham makes their own lithium batteries. So I have a lithium battery combined with my M5 mechanical. This can run for upwards of 3 days in a row on one battery. So this is like my go-to ice camping sonar for ice fishing, just because of that run time, right? I don't have to worry about batteries dying. I don't have to bring extra batteries. You know, I literally turn this unit off at the end of the day, bring it in the tent with me overnight, go back and fish all the next day and not worry about it dying. So very, very strategic, the M5, and I love this kind of roamer shuttle pack that it comes in. So, you know, deadly unit for ice camping scenarios like we're doing here. So let's get a bait in the water and hopefully see a fish before the storm gets here. There's a high one, come on. Got him, nice. That feels like the right species. That feels like the right species. They fight hard. Oh yeah, nice, nice. That there is, what do you think, Miko? That there is the first fish of the trip. That didn't take too long at all. And another thing, we did not bring dinner, so the pressure's off a little bit. At least now we can have a 1 or 2 bites of fish for dinner if we don't catch any more, but the pressure is off a little bit. So that's a good sign of what's to come. Not a bad crappie, huh, Miko? What do you think? We'll put him on the ice. We'll put him on the ice. Catching these smaller ones like that are nice because you know, they provide a little bit better table fare, and it's good to release those bigger fish. So not bad. Got him. That feels heavy. That feels heavy. That's the right. I think this is what we're looking for. Oh yeah, big head shake. Oh my gosh. That is like a bass. Look at that crappie, man. Look at that crappie. That's a giant. That's a giant, a northern Minnesota giant. What a special fish. That's what we're out here for, man. That's what it's all about. That's why we come here. That's why we go on adventures, take risks, you know? That's cool. All alone in the wilderness, and we have big old crappies. It doesn't get any better. That thing literally looked like a bass coming up the hole. I mean, oh my goodness. Look at that fish. That's special. Let's catch another one. Got him. So nice to be able to see, this one's fighting good, to see that bite in your rod tip. This one's fighting hard. They fight, man. Like they battle. Look at that fish. That's not a bad one. That's not a bad one. Again, that's that perfect eater size that we're after right now. It'll be nice to get 4 or 5 of these on the ice for dinner, and then we can hunt down our giants, like that one we got earlier. Like that was a big fish. So, but these medium-sized ones that I consider, you know, your 9s, your 10s, 11s, like they're your perfect size to eat. So that's cool. A dinner mission right now, and then after that, you know, once we get our fish, we're gonna hopefully see some big ones, right? But I don't know what that system's gonna do. I can start to feel that wind. It's coming, right? We may need to kind of pack up camp a little bit and get things organized and anticipate that arrival of the big winds and snow. But for now, that's a nice crappie. There he is. That's a good fish. That's heavy. That is heavy. This is what we're after here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at that crappie. That's the giants that we're out here for. That gets your heart going. A true Northwoods backwoods giant right there, man. That's what we like to see. That's a special fish on a pretty cool trip that we're on here, right? A pretty cool trip. What a crappie. So cool. Such an awesome fish. Wow. This is a little too big for us to keep. You know, kind of along with that first one. You know, we want to protect these resources, release fish, you know, be respectful to you know, the lakes and the fish that swim within, right? We're not out here to make an impact or do any damage. So big fish like this have to go back. They're special. That's so cool seeing that fish swim away like that. That is, I don't know, not much else can be said, right? That's such a cool fish. He was up high too. That fish was suspended. We're only in about 10 feet of water right here, and that fish is at like 6.5. So it's, you know, and then you work that fish up a little bit too. So it can be some pretty skinny water beneath you. So that's cool. That wind is coming, but these fish they're going strong. They're going strong. I don't know how crappies react to snowstorms very often, but we're gonna find out here because there's no going home. We're in it to win it. We're staying the night. It's gonna be fun. Got him. Got him. It feels good. There's some weight there. Oh yeah. It's gonna be another big one. This is gonna be a big fish. Big head chicks. Oh gosh. Big head chicks. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Hello, sweet Betty. Look at that crappie. Look at that crappie. That's our biggest one yet, right there. Huge. What a stud of a fish. Those are special fish. Special crappies, man. Backwoods, northern Minnesota lakes, like true giants. What a resource, what a fishery. And we're here all alone, right? It doesn't get any better, man. It doesn't get any better. What a fish. Let's get that one back and catch another one. That feels like a good fish. That feels like a good fish. A light biter though. A light biter. Oh, that's a big head shakes. Oh, that's a nice crappie. That there, look at that fish. Look at that crappie, man. Miko, look at that. What do you think, huh? That's a big fish, huh? That's a big fish, Meeks. Big old fish. Big crappie, Miko. Look at that. When they're the size of a Newfoundland's head, you know they're a good one. Beautiful. The madness just continues. It does not stop. It does not stop. There, that one went back good. Nice. A little bit bigger than we want to keep, and I think we have enough for dinner as it is. And look at what has just started coming down out of the sky, and that is the snow. So it's coming. The forecast is right. Sometimes you can't believe it, but I see it now with my own eyes. We're going to be in for it. So as you can see, there's tons of slush, and that's one concern of mine, is that the weight of the snow that's coming is going to make this just a slush pit. But you know, we're out here, we're going to stick it out and see what happens. But that snow's starting to fall. I think we should head into the tent and kind of get some things situated, get our maybe a bed or two set up, get the table set up, and just kind of get that situated and prepared, and then you know, we can get ready for kind of stage the table for dinner. So yeah, no, really good action, tons of crappies, big fish too, so it makes it worth it. That is a lot of fun. All right, we have our bed set up here. It's kind of makes you want to crawl on it. Nice and cozy, nice and warm. We got our pillow, our cot, our insulated sleeping pad, our Taiga sleeping bag. All right, we have our bed set up here. It's kind of makes you want to crawl on it. Nice and cozy, nice and warm. We got our pillow, our cot, our insulated sleeping pad, our Taiga sleeping bag, and we are ready. Now there's one final piece of the puzzle to this. These bags are extremely expensive. If you get a quality one, right? Upwards $1,100-1,200 bucks. Like, they're not cheap. This one here I think was $8-9. They're like so performance that they can be a little bit fragile to flame, right? We're running a wood stove in here. We're walking around in here. We got our ice fishing gear on. There's knives, there's pliers. You know, you don't want to tear this, right? That's the last thing you want to do, is tear this. If one ember shot out of here and landed on your bag, or you're sleeping at night and you kind of roll off your cot a little bit and this touches that, poosh, right? It's gonna, feathers are gonna fly out everywhere. I've seen it happen numerous times, right? So what we have is kind of I call it kind of just a little coffin for our sleeping bag to go in. It's kind of more of like a lighter weight canvas that our sleeping bag is going to go in, and this is going to protect our bag from any damage from you know, a knife, for example, or heat, a spark, anything, you know, silly like that. This is going to protect us. So what we're going to do is just slide our bag right into here, and then we're ready for battle, man. You can withstand kind of anything Mother Nature can throw at you with this setup, right? A little bit of wood stove for some evening heat and to cook on. A nice bag like this to sleep in. Like, you're not gonna get cold. It can be, we've done -30 overnight with no heat, and you stay warm in this, right? You got to wear a puffer jacket to bed, you know, wear a hat to bed, and yeah, you'll wake up at night and roll over and there'll be some ice on your face, but you know, the core of your body stays so warm in a bag or in a setup like this. So yeah, this is ready to go. We're ready to sleep in this. So I think we should get back out, try to maybe catch a few more fish. We got a fillet fish, and then we're going to prepare a pretty delicious dinner. So yeah, that's the plan. This is the most wet, nasty snow I've seen in a long time. I'm to the point now where I don't want to bend down to get a fish because all this slop and water and slush, and it is coming down. So I'm glad we caught a bunch of fish before the snow rolled in, and yeah, they nailed that forecast. It's here. It is here. So I think what we're gonna do is tuck inside the tent, get the wood stove going, and kind of just hang out and make an early dinner because this is just miserable to fish in. This is crazy. So let's jump in that tent, start making up dinner, and yeah, we'll kind of see. Maybe this will subside, but looking by the radar, I don't think it's gonna for a while. So let's get warm. It's an absolute blizzard outside, like 20-mile-an-hour winds, extreme snow. So I don't know, our fishing may have commenced for the rest of the day because sitting in here, just stoking the wood fire is pretty fun. So I would drill a hole in here, however the ice is too thin. We'll get a lot of slush. So we want to keep ice fishing holes out away from our tent. We don't want to do that in here because it would be a sloppy mess. So I don't know, there's just something about in the wintertime hanging out next to the wood stove. Well, there's an absolute blizzard outside. It's pretty tranquilizing. It's pretty cool. Everything is great. Everything's fine. There's no water in the house. Oh man, this is like deja vu of last winter. The winter that wasn't, because it's still like 30 some degrees outside and everything is just soaked. Everything. There's literally like 3 inches of standing water in the tent right now, which is pretty sad. I think sad's a good way. I mean, it should be winter. It should be 20 below right now, especially after the system passes. We should have really cold air, but there's nothing, right? It's a sloppy mess. And I'm starting to have a little bit of, I don't know, worry or doubts that it's gonna be a smooth exit off, you know, this lake and the next lake we have to go to. So like, it's nasty. It's nasty. So we're not gonna think about that. We're gonna make some coffee. We're gonna enjoy the coffee. And then we're gonna fish a little bit and then give ourselves probably 4 hours of daylight to get off the lake, because I think that's what we're gonna need, because it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. This is not ideal. Got him. Got him. That feels like a decent fish. Oh yeah, look at that. It's not a bad crappie there. Good thing Miko's a water dog, because this is pretty much open water fishing with a little bit of ice in between us. Yeah, not a bad crappie, hey? That's awesome. Nice fish. Yeah, awesome. And just sticking with that tungsten jig, a little white plastic, whether it's white or red, those are kind of my two favorite colors for panfish through the ice. I don't think jig color matters that much. Again, just utilize the weight of that tungsten, right? So much more dense than lead, it falls extremely fast, so you can get down in front of these fish. But white and red are my two favorite colors of plastics here in northern Minnesota. So that's a good fish. Let's catch another one. There we go. He flew up. It's a good fish. He choked that jig too. He absolutely choked it. Another perfect eating size. That's awesome. Those jigs and plastics, man. If you can, swing on into Marine General in Duluth. All the tackle you need, whether you need minnows, crappie jigs, plastics, baits for walleyes, trout, they have it all. I'm glad we stocked up on the right baits before this trip. That's a good fish, man. Beautiful. Beautiful. We'll throw him on the ice and catch another one. So I don't think styloplastic matters too much for these fish in my experiences, you know, something with a split tail like this, but you know, Marine General has a great selection of you know, anything from trout baits to all the way down to panfish baits. So, you know, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Let's catch another one. These fish are biting good. All right, this snow is relentless. It does not give up. I am soaked. Poor Miko is soaked, although he likes it. Newfoundlands do not get cold on the ice. And yeah, I think it's time to pack up camp and make our journey back to the truck. It could go smooth, or it could take a long time with this slush. So I don't know what we're gonna have in store for us, but we're gonna find out here pretty quick. Fishing was pretty good. We did not get the fish as long as we wanted to. It was you know, with that blizzard, I call it a blizzard, 20-mile-an-hour winds and, you know, wet, nasty snow. And yeah, just cut our time short, but we saw a couple great fish. You know, lots of numbers of those 9 to 11 inches, which are fun as well. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.